KNBC4 News continues with breaking news.
NBC4's Marin.
NBC4 was just inside the bedroom. Adrian, Kathy, good evening. I can tell you this is one panicked community right now.
I was just on Twitter and Facebook. Many here in LA are disgusted by the violence in Charlottesville. Some so outraged they stopped traffic near Pershing Square Saturday night.
As you know, for months, residents out here in Porter Ranch have been dealing with the smell of gas.
Does that mean that these candidates are paying you off the books?
Off the books?
But you've tried to kill someone before.
Yeah, maybe I did. Yeah, in Hutchinson I did.
I just spoke to the laundromat clerk in Spanish. ¿Qué fue afuera?
This certainly is a scary situation for the clerk who works at this Shell station. And I want to show you some surveillance video on my cell phone here. And it's on my cell phone because I just walked in and captured it a few minutes ago. You can see two masked men coming in through the front door.
Turns out she hit the gas instead of the brake. She plowed right through these bushes here.
You guys just came home for the first time about 30 minutes ago. What's going through your mind? This fire, Alex, grew from 100 to 1,100 acres overnight.
We want to show you just how fast the LA River is moving.
Well, there's one person who can answer that question, Marin, who's been out there all day.
Chuck and Colleen, good afternoon. Just within the past 45 minutes, I mean, you can just see how fast this water is moving at this point, looking a lot more like a waterfall than any sort of mudslide that you could ever imagine. I was just inside, and I can tell you Bruce Springsteen is in fact here at Barnes & Noble, and a lot of dedicated fans here this morning. How long have you been here, Rachel, from Eagle Rock?
Since 10:15 last night.
Yep. People are sleeping here, and I can tell you they're only getting 10 to 15 seconds each with Bruce Springsteen unless he decides otherwise, and I'm guessing most of these people are hoping they're getting a little more time with him. You can tweet us more random acts of kindness at NBC LA. We're in Van Nuys, Marin, NBC4 News. Tonight, this has become a reality for 18 different families who lost everything they have. Tonight, a long line of eager residents.
It's very difficult, not knowing if we have a house or not.
But as the sun set, Santa Clarita residents got their answer, and the news for some wasn't good.
I was so amazing, the fire coming so fast.
John Kim, his wife and daughter came home to mountains of ash and piles of rubble. Hard to believe this was once their 5-bedroom house off of Iron Canyon Road. But the biggest loss were their family photos from Korea.
Only one, like my mom, my daddy, all those pictures, my mother-in-law and family. Yeah.
A few miles away, Pat and Kathy McCreary can hardly recognize their living room of 18 years. They're grabbing the trinkets because that's what's left.
These are things that my son made when he was, probably 10.
Further down Sand Canyon Road, more destroyed homes. But these three belong to U.S. Forest Service firefighters who were fighting the sand fire themselves when they lost everything.
Past 2 days I haven't slept, I haven't eaten. It's devastating and it's shocking.
For others, the news was better.
Really thankful for them, LA County Fire and everybody they brought in.
But Mike Erb and his son are looking for unburnt fuel should the winds pick up.
Nature's pretty crazy. This all got nuked. This is like moonscape through here.
And it's a devastating sight when it's your house. But John Kim says he'll stay strong.
Don't worry, this God will guide you.
Now you'll see a lot of these homes are still smoldering even tonight. What you won't see is firefighters out here because simply there's nothing left to burn. LA County Fire did tell me tonight that there are still 3,000 firefighters, Chuck and Colleen, fighting the sand fire. For now, we're live in Santa Clarita. Marin, NBC4 News.
Marin is live with more on how the community is feeling tonight. Marin.
Adrian, Kathy, good evening. I can tell you this is one panicked community right now. As you can imagine, the suspect is still out there. Investigators say he's armed, but his family members say tonight, don't worry.
He told his daughter, I'll be right back. I love you.
But 20 minutes later, 47-year-old Jose Luis Chavez, a father and talented tattoo artist, would vanish, leaving only his bike behind and his family confused.
I don't want to believe that he actually had gunfire with the police officer.
24 hours ago, investigators say a West Covina police officer made contact with Chavez for unknown reasons. And at 11:30 last night, residents say they heard 8 to 9 back-and-forth bullets coming from North Yelton Avenue. The officer was shot in the chest, and investigators say Chavez ditched his bike and fled on foot.
I mean, I can't deny the fact that that's his bike.
The Chavez family tells NBC4 he's been to prison many times before for drugs, but never for violence.
Never seen him with the gun. A knife, okay, you know, but a gun is out of the question.
And as community members panic,
we definitely double locked our doors.
SWAT officers went from house to house with no luck Saturday, using flashbangs and breaking doors down as they search for the suspect.
I can't believe that this is something that you have done.
Tonight, neighbors, friends, family members all share a common message for Chavez, a resident of this block for 30 years.
Just turn yourself in, Louis. Please, for me, Louis, really, from my heart.
Now, there is some good news here. That West Covina police officer was taken to the hospital. He is expected to be okay. That's the very latest from West Covina. Marin, Austin, NBC4 News.
Tonight, the NBC4 I-Team for the first time, Marin Austin uncovers the real political theater.
The bottom line is,
in the small town of Camarillo,
I think the city needs a shakeup.
Citizens aren't shy about expressing their opinions. But one chilly Wednesday night in December,
Prince Jordan Tyson?
City officials say this man stood out.
This case is clearly common sense.
Because for 3 minutes, he told the city council what he later admits was a lie.
I'm just a concerned citizen coming up here and speaking to you.
But he's not. He's a self-described struggling actor from Beverly Hills who goes by the name of Prince Jordan Tyson. And he now believes he was involved in a secretive new industry where actors are hired to try and sway public officials. In this case, a construction project in Camarillo.
He asked us to be boisterous. Now, if you give the grant, guess who's responsible?
Some of those lines, he says, were scripted by this guy. Recent UCLA graduate Adam Swart and his business Crowds on Demand, which will stage rallies and demonstrations for almost any candidate or cause.
How many city council meetings have you done?
Lots.
Adam says he has worked with dozens of campaigns for state officials and even 2016 presidential candidates, but he won't name any names.
If I told you, then nobody would hire us in the future.
The California Fair Political Practices Commission tells NBC4 political campaigns are required by law to report expenditures. But public records indicate only one committee in the entire state has ever reported paying Crowds on Demand. That committee is 6 Californias.
How about this idea?
The campaign to split California into 6 different states. Organizers are on record for paying Swart's company $51,000 over 2 years for signature gatherers. State officials tell NBC4 some campaigns and politicians who hire Crowds on Demand and fail to report campaign expenditures could be breaking the law.
Does that mean that these candidates are paying you off the books?
Off the books? In the sense that what like I mentioned, the people who typically bring us on are third parties.
Swart says politicians have known about this industry for some time. The New York Post reporting in 2013 that Anthony Weiner has paid for phony supporters at campaign events, although Weiner denied that. And last year, The Hollywood Reporter saying Republican frontrunner Donald Trump paid actors $50 to wear T-shirts and carry signs for his campaign launch. Trump denied this. But beyond just paying people to show up, Swart says sometimes clients want more.
Have you scripted it before?
On some occasions.
It does sort of not pass the smell test.
Hiring actors is not illegal, but entertainment law attorney and USC professor Lincoln Banlow says telling those actors what to do and what to say could lead to defamation or even fraud lawsuits.
There's all kinds of things that could come out of essentially sending people out there to create a false impression.
Swart wouldn't confirm whether or not he hired Tyson or gave him lines, but Tyson says this email proves he was hired, sent from Adam's email address asking Tyson and apparently others to attend a city council hearing and sway public officials by applauding boisterously.
There were a lot of people from out of the area, you could tell.
Camarillo Mayor Mike Morgan says the meeting got rowdy and at some point he felt intimidated, so he started asking questions.
Are you a resident of this area around there?
I stay up here, yes.
40 minutes later, Tyson came back to the podium.
Prince is back.
For one of the strangest moments the city council has ever seen.
I don't agree with the reason I'm here, and I was paid to be here.
How much were you paid?
$100.
How much?
$100.
Tyson says he'll never do it again.
When you try to manipulate a judicial system and a mayor and a city council, that's extremely shady.
Swart, who says there's never any lying involved, doesn't see a problem.
Isn't this ethically wrong?
There's a lot at stake. We're merely part of the democratic process, if you'd ask me.
We were not able to identify who hired Crowds on Demand, but we did learn that they have some 20,000 actors all across the country, and most are required to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
I just spoke to the laundromat clerk in Spanish. Muy triste, ¿no?
Sí, muy triste.